A hunter who once had a job but couldn't even afford 2 meals a day yet. Due to a system, he upgrades so much that no one in the entire world can match him. Without spoiling the story, let's cover this manga. Even if you don't find it interesting for the first 10 minutes, as the manga progresses, it will surely remind you of Solo Leveling. And if you really like this manga, you can subscribe to this channel, as upgrades are still coming on a daily basis. You can also check the playlist, who knows, there might be some new upgrades since then. So, let's start. At the beginning of the anime, we are told that a few centuries ago, the sky suddenly split open, and dungeons started appearing. Along with them, many dangerous monsters also began invading Earth. But when the dungeons appeared, some people awakened their powers, and now they fight these monsters to protect normal people. Then, the scene shifts, and we see an academy where people are being trained for the hunter examination. But then, the scene shifts again, and in between, we witness a dangerous fight. A single person is battling a giant dragon. However, nothing is revealed about this character yet, so for now, I'll call him Lonely. Here, Lonely is taunting and tormenting the dragon before finally defeating it. But then, Lonely receives a message and says, "Ah, the academy? I'll definitely join it." And with a final attack, he kills the dragon. Next, we are introduced to some powerful individuals. First is Atlas, who is physically very strong, especially his fists. Second is Hua Tuo, a healer. Third is Merlin, a powerful magician. Fourth is Dilpha, who can run faster than sound. Fifth is Siddhartha Gautama. Not sure why a god is here, but we don't learn about his abilities yet. Sixth is Sun Wukong, a great sage. And finally, Lonely, about whom nothing is revealed yet. As soon as Lonely finishes his fight, he immediately picks up the academy's call. Here, we learn the academy's name, Transition Academy. The start of chapter 1, we see our main character, Kim Seo-jun, whom we'll simply call Kim. He is 27 years old. We are told that Kim is a natural awakener, born with powerful strength. However, he still has to work because his parents died in his childhood, and their debt fell upon him. So, for the past 9 years, Kim has been collecting monster bodies for a living. In the future, he wants to become a professional hunter. Then, Kim hears two people shouting his name. They ask, "Are you still passionate about becoming a pro hunter?" Kim replies, "Yes, I'm just saving up money for it, since the pro hunter fee is quite high." Kim checks his account balance and feels happy he has saved up $40,000. But suddenly, an ad pops up on his phone. It's for Transition Academy. We learn that Kim has never even heard of this academy before. Then, more messages arrive, revealing that the academy is currently relocating. The messages also claim that powerful and knowledgeable people reside there, and their graduates include 9th-class swordmasters and 5th-class sages. The academy promises that if Kim joins, he can become transcended as well. Shocked, Kim says, "What kind of joke is this? This academy's website looks so normal, but why do the professors' names sound so strange?" Despite his doubts, Kim decides, "No problem, I'll visit it once to see what this Great Heaven Sage is really doing." Let me tell you, the Great Heaven Sage is none other than Sun Wukong, whom I explained earlier. Kim then plays a video featuring Great Heaven Sage, whom we'll refer to as Wukong throughout the anime. In the video, Wukong says, "Hello, nice to meet you all. My name is Sun Wukong, and my weapon is my staff." Wukong continues, "Look, if I just explain it verbally, you won't understand anything. Let me show you instead." He then demonstrates, first, perfect your movements. Pull your staff back. Then, strike your enemy at a single point. We then see that this attack is extremely powerful. The mountain where the attack landed completely vanishes. Seeing this, Kim exclaims, "What the hell was that? That's impossible, even for an S-class interview. This would be ridiculously hard." Just then, Kim receives a notification, "If you want to take this lecture, then, click on register." But as soon as Kim clicks on register, he sees an error because he is not a member of the academy. Another message appears, "Please purchase a membership first." But then, the membership fee starts calculating, and the final amount is $40,000. Kim first looks at it closely and then, shouting from a distance, says, "This is a scammer." A little later, we see an old man who says, "You must be joining an academy. That's why you look so happy. By the way, which academy are you registering for?" Kim then tells him, "I've heard its name is AR Hunter Academy, and I've also heard that the teachers there are really good." The old man then says, "Once you become a hunter, don't forget me. and make sure to give me the contract for cleaning up the monsters you kill. Kim, in his mind, thinks, that actually sounds really nice, I'll be killing monsters. But just then, someone says, if you want to laugh, you should also be prepared to cry. Right then, we see a monster hanging above that suddenly falls on Kim. After the incident, the scene shifts to a hospital, where Kim is undergoing treatment. The doctor tells Kim, your leg is fractured. When Kim asks the company for money for his treatment, they refuse, saying, this isn't our fault. In the end, Kim has to pay for his own treatment, which totals $40,000. Kim thinks, I worked hard for 9 years and saved money for the academy, but all that effort was wasted. As he continues thinking about it, anger starts boiling inside him. But just then, Kim's phone notification goes off. A message reads, Transition Academy's fee has been reduced due to a sale. We then learn that after that day, Kim had searched for Transition Academy but couldn't find its website anywhere. But now, suddenly, it appears again. The fee calculation starts, and this time, the amount is $3,000. Kim thinks, when I had $40,000, it asked me for $40,000, and now, when I only have $3,000 left, it's asking for exactly $3,000? Kim says, fine, I'll try it once. As soon as Kim clicks on register, the money his uncle had just given him starts floating in the air and suddenly vanishes. Then, a notification pops up on Kim's phone, you have successfully become a member of Transition Academy. Kim's phone begins to glow, and from inside it, a person appears and asks, your name is Kim Seo-jun, right? I am your in charge for initial education. My job is being a mentor. Kim says, oh, so your name is Mentor? Mentor replies, yes, my name is Mentor, and my job is also being a mentor. Kim then says, wait, you're the teacher of Otis, right? Mentor nods, yes, Otis was my first student. He later transcended and is still in contact with me. Mentor then explains, every teacher in our academy is a transcendent. Kim asks, wait, is your academy only for transcendents, not for hunters? Mentor responds, how can you even compare a hunter with a transcendent? There's a huge gap between them. Kim says, but S-class hunters are also extremely powerful. Mentor replies, our instructors can defeat an S-class hunter with just a single finger. So, tell me, what will you choose? A selection page appears in front of Kim, showing multiple options like combat, art, music, mind, and many more. Mentor tells him, choose what kind of transcendent you want to become in the future. Kim selects combat. Question 2. How strong are you? Kim replies, I don't have an answer to that. Mentor asks, can you crush a mountain with a punch? Kim shakes his head. No. Mentor asks again, can you destroy a mountain with a single strike? Kim again says, no. Mentor starts thinking, how did he even get into this academy? After a while, Kim is completely exhausted because the test has a total of 108 questions. Mentor then tells Kim, now you have a free pass, so you can watch any lecture. Give me some time to check your profile. After checking, Mentor says, so, you need spearmanship in combat. For you, mana cultivation and spearmanship will be the best fit. Then, Mentor adds, the Great Heaven Sage would be good for you, but right now, you can't even pull a mountain, so I'll find a new teacher for you in the meantime. Just then, a message pops up on Kim's screen, your mental state is very weak. You should take Buddha's lecture, as you are not only injured but also emotionally unstable. While deep in thought, Mentor says, yes, you should first take Gautam Buddha's lecture. Kim is shocked and says, Buddha is a very famous instructor. If you learn his soul purification technique, you can make a lot of money with it. A message pops up on Kim's screen, if you want to take the lecture, click on register. The message mentions unwavering heart. Kim asks Mentor about it, and Mentor explains, unwavering heart is extremely important for transcendence. Then, Mentor tells Kim, first, I will analyze your profile and return shortly. With that, Mentor disappears. Kim begins attending the lecture. Gautam Buddha's first question is, what do you think, where does this world exist? Kim, thinking to himself, wonders, is this really Gautam Buddha? The lecture begins, and Buddha says, we can never compare ourselves to others. Before Kim realizes it, he creates an image of Buddha within his soul. A message pops up saying, Kim has understood 0.6% of Buddha's lecture. Then, a time skip takes us 1 week ahead. The doctor tells Kim, your recovery speed is incredible. I know you're an awakened, but this is still a very fast recovery. Kim thinks, this isn't just my imagination. Buddha's lecture really helped me recover. However, the doctor adds, if you don't know how this recovery happened, you should still rest for a week. Kim agrees and thinks, Transition Academy was a great deal for me. Kim says aloud, if I can move my body now, I can also attend Chiron's lecture. As soon as the lecture starts, a person appears and says, nice to meet you, my name is Chiron. We then learn that half of Chiron's body is human, and the other half is that of a horse. The lecture begins, and Chiron instructs, whatever I teach you, write it down. Suddenly, Chiron shouts loudly, and Kim gets startled. A message pops up, based on your current state, you will receive a task. A list of daily tasks appears, 30 kilometers running, 1,000 squats, 300 push-ups, 300 sit-ups, 150 pull-ups. Kim says, but the doctor told me to rest for a week. I'll do these daily tasks later. For now, I'll continue Buddha's lecture. However, an error appears on the screen, stating, until you complete your task, you cannot attend any other lecture. Kim then notices his membership expiration, which has only 83 days remaining. He thinks, I don't have much time to become stronger. I can't waste a single moment. Kim talks to himself, I don't really have a reason to exercise, but I want to become a pro hunter. So, I have to get stronger. Kim starts doing push-ups and says, finally, my 9 years of effort will pay off. He completes 300 push-ups, but when Kim opens his tablet to check his progress, he sees that only 81 push-ups were counted. Kim then repeats his push-ups carefully and learns that only properly executed push-ups count. Determined, Kim begins doing each task correctly and completes 300 push-ups, 100 pull-ups, 300 sit-ups, 1,000 squats while running. Kim thinks, this kind of training doesn't make any sense. In the end, Kim completes the 30 kilometers run. A message appears, you have successfully completed the task. Kim collapses on the road, exhausted, and says, this is madness. How can anyone do this every day? People nearby start looking at Kim. Scene shift, Granny's place. Kim arrives somewhere, and Granny says, oh, so you finally came. However, their relationship is not revealed yet. Granny asks Kim, did you just start exercising? Your body is looking quite strong. Kim agrees with her. Just then, a news broadcast appears on TV. The news reports that dead monsters were being delivered when level 4 and level 5 monsters suddenly attacked the place. The incident was very dangerous, and many lives could have been lost. However, hunters arrived just in time and saved the people. These hunters belonged to Gon Academy. Granny then tells Kim, you're an awakened, which means you're a hunter too. Soon, you'll be on TV as well. Just then, we hear someone's voice saying, you, naturally improved. Do you think just anyone can show up and start appearing on TV? Granny says, times have changed a lot now. Then, an uncle replies, you're still just a student. You're not even a candidate yet, meaning you're not in any academy. All you're doing is exercising. It'd be better if you just gave up on becoming a hunter. Hearing this, Kim starts getting angry, but Granny says, you shouldn't say that to anyone. Uncle responds, I was just giving him advice. Kim says firmly, I can make my own decisions. I don't need your advice. Saying this, he walks away. The scene shifts. A girl is shown saying, I hate hunters. What's the point of even establishing an academy? Just then, a monster attacks her. She continues, and what's the point of having so much money? We see her split the monster in half with a single attack. She then says, I have an academy, yet why isn't there a single member? This is so annoying. The scene shifts again to Kim. He says, finally, I'm home. All the doctors are in shock, wondering how he recovered from such a serious injury in just 2 weeks. Kim thinks, I still have a whole year until the hunter's examination. I can prepare comfortably. He quickly checks his phone. Now that he has completed his task, he wonders if the next lectures are available yet. Checking, he finds that the next lecture is ready, so he immediately starts the second lecture. Chiran appears and says, you still look like a kid. You should only be given toys to play with. Kim, feeling disheartened, asks, am I still a kid? Chiran begins his lecture, explaining, you've gained some abilities, but if you want to become transcendent, your first step should be mastering your senses. Kim attends the lecture and completes 7% of his progress. The next morning, Kim's manager says, I thought you had a major surgery, but you look completely fine. Meanwhile, Kim is thinking, I have no choice. I need money. I don't even have enough to eat. Sitting somewhere, He contemplates. Right now, my biggest problem is food. Without food, I won't be able to attend lectures or complete my daily tasks. Just then, an old man arrives. Kim is re-watching his lecture from yesterday, where Chiran is explaining the five senses. Chiran also mentions, there's a method to greatly enhance your progress, your hidden power, the sixth sense. The old man approaches and says, "Oh, you've returned quite early." But Kim dodges him effortlessly. Seeing this, both Kim and the old man are shocked. The old man exclaims, "Hey, how did you dodge that? Do you have eyes on the back of your head?" Then he says, "If you're just sitting around here, why don't you go do some work?" A little later, the old man notices, "Hey, isn't 200 kilograms a bit too much?" But Kim doesn't seem affected by the weight at all. The old man is shocked, while Kim starts feeling stronger. Kim wonders, should I complete my daily tasks now? Otherwise, I won't have time later. He does a squat and checks, did I do it perfectly? Will it count? Looking at the screen, he is surprised it counted as 3 squats due to the heavy weight. Kim is overjoyed, but the old man calls out, break time is over, so take some rest. But Kim is in his own world, cheering, I need more weight. The old man warns, isn't this a bit too much? Kim is seen lifting chunks of monster corpses and using them for exercise. He says excitedly, this way, I'll complete my tasks faster. The old man, furious, shouts, at this rate, you'll end up hurting yourself. But Kim completes all his tasks anyway. Later that night, he comes home and says, if I keep this up, I'll finish my daily tasks quickly. But it does require a lot of effort. He checks to see if today's tasks are completed. They are. Feeling satisfied, he reflects on the day's progress. Kim thinks, I completed everything way too quickly, and my next lecture isn't until 10 a.m. That means I have a lot of wasted time. But I can't just let this time go to waste. Why not use my free pass to watch whatever lecture is currently available? He checks and sees that a lecture is going on. The title reads, Become Strong Enough to Move a Mountain. The instructor of this lecture is Xiang Pu, but we will refer to him simply as Xiang. We are given some information about Xiang. His full name is Jiaman Xiang Yiqing, and he is extremely overpowered. Kim thinks, this doesn't seem too bad. Plus, it's free, and anything free is always good. Then, Xiang Pu says, oh, so you want to learn spear techniques? Looking at Kim, he adds, a rookie like you, who doesn't even know the basics, wants to learn spearmanship? Hearing this, Kim feels a bit down. He mutters, wow, he insulted me straight to my face. Some people might think Kim should be angry at this insult, and even Kim himself initially thought the same. But then, Xiang Yu says, all right, if you really want to learn, I'll teach you. First, learn how to hold a spear properly, strengthen your body and sharpen your senses. Then, come back to me. With that, Xiang Yu's lecture ends, and a task appears on the screen, swing the spear 5,000 times. Kim exclaims, what kind of lecture was that? He barely even said 2 words. This wasn't even a real lesson. And what kind of task is this, swinging a spear 5,000 times? Does every lecture have to come with a daily task? Can't there be just one lecture without a task? The scene shifts to a female hunter, the same one we saw fighting earlier. A man standing behind her flatters her, saying, thanks to you, we all survived. We are given information about this hunter. She is a B-class hunter named Park Sunhai, but we will refer to her as Sunhai. Sunhai replies, I've taken care of everything, but you should still double-check. The man nods, understood, we'll handle the rest. You don't need to worry. Meanwhile, 2 people nearby are having a conversation. Do you know about that girl? One asks, yeah. The other replies, she's the Great An Sword Star. I think her name is Xian. Hearing the name Sword Star, Kim is shocked. Then, we are given information about the Red Star, whose name is Mentor. A flashback from 100 years ago appears. It was the time when dungeons first started appearing. Back then, awakeners were unheard of, and the monsters were incredibly dangerous, frequently appearing on the streets. Humanity was on the brink of extinction. Then, a man appeared. With a single strike, he killed a monster. That man was none other than Park Man-chul. Thanks to him, civilization was able to grow again. He became known as the savior of the world, and people started calling him a hero. Now, many years have passed. That man must be quite old by now. However, he is still incredibly powerful and can fight anyone. The scene shifts back to the present. Kim sighs, ugh, what does any of that have to do with me? I'm just stuck regretting how poor I am. Shin sees Kim and asks the old man, "What's wrong with him?" The old man replies, "I don't know, but he's been acting like this for weeks." Hearing that, Zian walks away, saying, "He's lost his mind." Meanwhile, Kim completes his exercise, counting 45, 46. He then tells the old man, "I'll leave these monster pieces with you." After doing so, he adds, "There's a meaning behind all of this." We both know that meaning very well. The old man shakes his head and warns, "If you keep doing this every day, you're going to destroy yourself." But Kim remains relaxed. Suddenly, the old man panics. One of the monsters that Shin had just defeated starts moving again. It lunges at the old man. Kim's eyes widen in alarm, he's genuinely worried. The scene shifts again, this time showing Zian. Two people standing behind her are whispering, "Hey, do you know that she's a hunter?" The other one replies, "Keep your voice down, she might hear you." Zian, however, smirks and thinks, "I can hear everything you're saying." The two continue whispering, "How can the granddaughter of a third star be this weak?" It is revealed that although Shin is the granddaughter of Rai Star, it's only by name. Even the court doesn't acknowledge her. Zian recalls the time she went to take the hunter exam. Her grandfather had appeared, and thanks to him, she was given a direct pass. And all the people who keep comparing me to my grandfather. Then, we see a previous scene where Zian is telling her grandfather, "I want to be a teacher, not a hunter." But her grandfather doesn't listen. "I don't care, I said you will become a hunter, and that's final." Zian says, "The life I expected is nothing like the one I'm living." So, she starts an academy. But when people find out that Sword Star won't be the one teaching, and that she will be the instructor instead, they all leave. She tries her best to bring them back, but in the end, everyone abandons her. The scene shifts back to the present. She wonders, "Where can I find someone willing to enroll in my academy just because of my name?" Meanwhile, we see an old man shouting and driving people away. A monster attack has happened here, he yells. Hearing this, Zian is shocked. The scene shifts back to Kim. Kim is thinking, "How did this dead monster come back to life?" The old man screams, "Hurry up and run away. Don't worry about me, just go." Kim thinks, a normal person can't defeat a monster. Even an awakener can't unless they have mana. And the biggest issue, this is a 2-star monster. It would take a professional hunter to defeat it. If Zian were here, she could handle it. But where is she? What should I do? I'm not strong enough to beat this thing. But someone has to do something to save the old man. But who? Just as Kim is thinking, the monster launches an attack. Kim grabs a nearby iron rod and strikes at the monster. But the monster easily dodges. However, Kim manages to lure it away from the old man. He shouts, "Hurry up and get out of here." The old man replies, "Let's run away together." But Kim shakes his head. "If we both run, who will distract the monster?" We can see Kim trembling from the fear of it all. He thinks, "I have to keep it occupied until a professional hunter arrives. I can't panic, I can't hesitate." This is Kim's first real fight. Just then, a lecture from Siddhartha Gautama about peace starts playing in Kim's mind. It feels as if he has entered another dimension. He listens carefully, absorbing the words of the lecture. "I just need to control my emotions." But suddenly, the monster attacks Kim. Kim immediately moves to counterattack. In his mind, he repeats, calm down," as the monster closes in. Kim remembers Chiron's lecture. Chiron had explained, when you're late to react to a close-range attack and the enemy strikes first, don't overthink it. Just trust your instincts and let your senses take control. Kim follows that advice. He dodges the monster's attack perfectly, moving back with style. "I don't need to do too much, just let my instincts take over." Kim then leaps high into the air. "I finally found its weak point." But then, he hesitates. Should I attack or not? That's when he remembers his spearmanship instructor, Xiang Yu. Xiang Yu had said, "Never hesitate when attacking, just trust me. If you do, your attack will be so powerful it can slice a mountain in half." Kim gathers his courage. This is a technique that can cut a mountain. He goes for the attack. At this moment, we get to see Kim's overpowered protagonist look for the first time. Kim strikes. The attack is incredibly powerful. A shockwave spreads through the area. Zian finally arrives at the scene. She is shocked by what she sees. The monster Kim attacked is now split perfectly in two. Then, we see Kim's lecture progress updates. Chiron's lecture, plus 10% progress. Siddhartha Gautama's lecture, plus 6% progress. Jiang Yu's lecture, plus 13% progress. Zian stares in disbelief. How is this possible? This guy, he was just a normal kid who picked up monster scraps. And now, without a weapon, he defeated a 2-star monster? Even Kim is a little surprised by his own strength. But then, he remembers the old man. He ignores Xian and runs past her, calling out for the old man. Xian, however, keeps looking at Kim, completely stunned. Kim asks, "Are you hurt anywhere?" The old man laughs and says, "I'm fine, but you don't end up in the hospital again." Meanwhile, all the workers are praising Kim. Xian says, "Finally, I found what I needed. I found the perfect candidate, someone I can teach." The site manager interrupts, telling everyone, no one should find out about this incident. Then, everyone says their goodbyes and heads home. Kim also leaves, checking his phone on the way. He is shocked to see that all his lecture progress has increased. "I've never progressed this much before. Even when I watched lectures, my scores barely increased. But after this fight, my lecture points skyrocketed." He realizes, if I want to improve, I need to fight monsters as much as possible. But then he thinks, how can I do that? I'm not even a hunter yet. I can't enter dungeons without a license. Looks like I need to start saving money for the Hunter Academy exam. Just then, he hears someone calling his name. It's Xian, standing right behind him. She asks, "Do you have a moment? Can we talk?" Kim recognizes her instantly. Wait, isn't she the granddaughter of Swordstar? What does a girl like her want with me? Kim says, "All right, just say what you need to say." Quickly, Xian replies, "I'll be direct. Do you want to meet my grandfather?" Kim, acting indifferent, says, "No, why would I?" Xian smirks. "I knew you'd say yes. Wait, did you just refuse?" Shocked, she starts insisting, but Kim ignores her. He's only thinking about getting home to complete his lectures. Finally, he turns to her and says, "Just tell me what you really want from me." We're told that Xian has never been this frustrated in her life. She sighs and says, "I want you to join my academy." Kim smirks, "So that's what this is about. But I heard your academy doesn't have a single student." Xian freezes. Did he just indirectly insult me? She watches Kim closely. This guy trains in such a weird way. And today, he easily killed a 4-star monster, something that even pro hunters struggle with. I know he wants to become a hunter, but he won't admit it. Xian then says, "Look, we'll do whatever you want. We have the best equipment and weapons. Right now, we don't have a good instructor, but I'll find one just for you." Still, Kim refuses. Xian gets serious. "All right, fine. If you want, my grandfather will personally teach you." Kim replies, "No, I don't want to learn from your grandfather." Xian stares at him. Who in their right mind refuses to learn from Swordstar? Determined not to let Kim go, she asks, "What are your plans for the hidden test?" Kim coldly responds, "That has nothing to do with you." Xian says, "You're a great fighter. You take down monsters with ease, but you're not a hunter yet. You can't join raids." Kim then asks, "If I join your hunter academy, can you get me a temporary license?" Only academies with government authorization can issue those. Xian nods. "Yes, we have that authority. We can give you a temporary license, so you can participate in raids." Kim slows his pace, thinking. Xian smirks. He's hesitating. "I just need to push a little more to make him join." She quickly adds, "Fine, if you don't want training, you can train however you like. We won't force you to pay fees. If you want to pay, fine. If not, that's okay too." Kim stops. No one is this generous without a reason. "What's the catch?" he asks. "What do you gain from this?" Xian answers, "I want you to represent my academy in the upcoming 7 competitions." She adds, "If you participate, just make sure to mention our academy's name." Kim thinks, that's not a bad deal. He looks at Xian. Why is she so determined to make me join? Xian smiles. "I've seen your potential." Kim, deep in thought, mutters, "This isn't a bad offer, and she's not a bad person either." Extending his hand, he says, "My name is Kim Shozen." This means Kim has agreed to join the academy. Shivan replies, "My name is Park Sun." The next day Kim's phone starts ringing. He picks up the call. The old man on the other end says, "Kim, our manager resigned yesterday. Do you know anything about this?" Kim denies any knowledge but starts thinking, maybe this is because of yesterday's incident. Later, Kim arrives at the academy, where Xian is already waiting for him. She hands him a temporary Hunter Academy license. Kim thinks, I expected this to take longer, but she got it done insanely fast. This is my first step toward achieving my dream. Let's see what happens next. Kim then asks Zian, tell me, how do people raid dungeons? Zian refuses and says, first, choose a weapon from these. Then, we'll go for a dungeon raid. Inside the dungeon, Kim is fighting rat-like monsters. He asks Zian, why are you following me inside the dungeon? Zian replies, why wouldn't I? You're the only member of our academy. If something happens to you, what am I supposed to do? She then adds, you should be happy I'm here. Even if this is a low-class dungeon, you still need to be careful. Kim thinks, this dungeon is perfect for gaining experience. Even if it's just a 2-star dungeon, it's still useful. Suddenly, a monster attacks Kim from behind. He easily dodges and counterattacks with his spear, thinking to himself, this ability is great for those who don't rely on magic. As Kim fights, his progress rate increases, making him extremely happy. He also realizes, raiding dungeons is a great way to earn money. Meanwhile, Zian is observing him. I knew this guy was weird, but now it's confirmed. Ever since he got here, he's been staring at a black screen. But we all know why only Kim can see his stats. No one else can. She watches him fight and thinks, he moves like a professional. Kim then picks up several monster parts and starts exercising with them inside the dungeon. By midnight, his lecture still isn't over. Zian wonders, did I just invite a lunatic to my academy? Kim's happiness. We see Kim, completely overjoyed. There's only one thing that makes him happy: money. His balance now shows $9,510. Kim says, there aren't any sandbags here? So he picks up something heavy and says, this isn't as heavy as I thought. We see that he has lifted an entire rock. Zian quickly interrupts, leave it, just leave it. There are sandbags in the corner. Go use those. Kim thanks her and starts training with the sandbags. Zian, watching him, thinks, I should leave before I have to see more of this. Meanwhile, Kim is deep in thought. When will I enter the tournament? How will I win the prize money to buy my own spear? A large crowd has gathered at the tournament venue. People are excited, saying, finally, this is going to be fun. Today's fights are going to be insane. Hunters from various academies have arrived. One academy chief tells his hunter, this is the place where you'll fight. The hunter responds, don't make me more nervous. I've already seen it. This hunter is wearing goggles and looks around. I thought fewer people would show up, but there are way more than expected. He then thinks, this is becoming more common now. Normal people are awakening as hunters. Hunter fights have become rare, so people are eager to watch them. Some spectators are grumbling, why is this guy explaining everything in so much detail? Is he the explaining character? The scene shifts to a waiting room. The same hunter is sitting there, looking nervous. What should I do? I always get nervous in situations like this, especially when I'm alone. He looks around at the other hunters. Their equipment is all high-end and expensive. The contestants are wearing high-end equipment that is shining brightly under the lights. How are so many muscular contestants so confident? One of them says, I had a feeling this would happen. Every academy has sent their pro fighters. Then, his attention shifts to our main character, who is sitting alone, staring at his phone. Behind him, a group of people starts talking about Kim. Who is this guy? He doesn't have any core equipment or a good weapon. Is he some poor kid? Which academy did he even come from? The guy with glasses thinks, man, this guy looks completely broke. His academy probably forced him to enter this fight. But instead of pity, the glasses guy feels excited. This is just like when a new student transfers to a school and immediately finds a seatmate. He walks over to Kim and introduces himself. Hello, my name is Lee Mingji. I'm also a natural awakener. Kim responds, hello, my name is Kim Seo Jun. Mingji asks, can I sit here? Kim agrees. Looking at him, Kim thinks, he looks like a high school student. Can high schoolers even participate in this? Another hunter's challenge elsewhere. One hunter challenges another. Do you want to fight me? Mingji leans toward Kim and explains, that guy's name is Zane Dutchwell. He's from Gok Academy. Then, he continues, and that one over there is Lee Munchul, from Mint Academy. The two hunters are arguing aggressively. Mingji says, as far as I know, he's a dagger user. That's his main weapon. Kim, now slightly annoyed, mutters, what's this guy's problem? Why does he explain every single thing? He then asks Mingji, if you're here to fight, why do you know so much? Mingji grins, I'm just naturally curious. I always want to analyze people's strengths, abilities, and weaknesses. That's why I know so much. Suddenly, another hunter approaches them and says, Can you both just shut up? There are plenty of others here too, so sit quietly. Mingji whispers, that guy is Lee Junwan from Revenant Academy. Kim notices how the whole atmosphere immediately turns silent the moment Lee Junwan speaks. Mingji explains, he's incredibly powerful. His academy has high expectations for him, but honestly, he's already won a tournament before even coming here. Kim asks, what do you mean? Mingji clarifies, Lee Junwan didn't want to participate in this competition. His academy forced him to enter. Then, Mingji suddenly asks, do you know Short Star? Kim replies, of course, I know them. Mingji nods, I figured, there's no one who doesn't know them. He then adds, the Grand Star's daughter made Lee Junwan an offer, but he rejected it. Later, it seemed like they patched things up. Kim thinks, that can't be the real reason. Just then, Lee Junwan loses his temper. Why the hell am I even in this competition? If my uncle hadn't pressured me, I wouldn't have come to such a pathetic event. If I had known this earlier, I would have just accepted her proposal. Everyone knows he's talking about Ran. Lee Junwan then reflects, why did I even reject her offer in the first place? His gaze lands on Kim, and he thinks, who the hell is this poor kid? Lee Junwan sneers, so now even poor nobodies can participate? Kim's perspective meanwhile, Kim is lost in thought. Ah, so this is the guy Xian scouted? He might even be stronger than her. If I fight him, I could gain a ton of experience. Tournament announcements suddenly. An announcement blares over the microphone. All participants, prepare yourselves. The first round of the tournament is about to begin. Mingji turns to Kim and says, looks like it's finally starting, but Kim isn't even listening. Without saying a word, he gets up and leaves. Kim, deep in thought, reflects, I've practiced a lot in the past 2 weeks. My Chiron lecture has increased to 30%, even though I don't feel much strength yet, but I know for sure that I've made progress. Fighting Miss Cheyenne was beneficial for me, and now I don't think I'll have many problems, no matter if I face a player or a monster. An announcement is made. The second tournament will take place in the dungeon maze. Kim's lecture stats are displayed. Chiron's lecture, 31, 7. Siddharth Gautam's lecture, 6, 8. Xiang Feng's lecture, 33. For the competition is being broadcasted live on a big screen, allowing all the spectators to watch in real time. A cameraman calls his partner, Shunbi. Hey, Shunbi, get over here and help me record this. Shunbi rushes over but accidentally bumps into a girl on the way. I'm so sorry, that was an accident. He apologizes. The girl smiles and says, no problem, it's okay. Shunbi then asks the cameraman, why did you book a corner seat? The cameraman responds, do you know that girl? Shunbi shakes his head, no, but she looked strangely familiar. Shrugging it off, Shunbi changes the subject, forget about that. Tell me, how's the first tournament going? The cameraman explains, the first tournament is Dungeon Maze, which means it's a labyrinth. Hunters can't attack each other, but there are monsters inside. Hunters must defeat them, gather clues, and escape. However, no matter how powerful a hunter is, if they don't have intelligence, they'll never find the exit. Luck doesn't work here at all. The hunters' battles the scene shifts to hunters fighting monsters, defeating them one by one while collecting clues. Then, the focus moves to Lee Junwan, who is unleashing powerful attacks on the monsters. The spectators watching on the screen are amazed. Who is this hunter? I don't think he's just a regular candidate. His movement speed is insanely fast. How can anyone move like that? Someone else says, his name is Lee Junwan, right? He's a highly powerful hunter. I'm sure he'll win this competition. The girl from earlier is actually Cheyenne. Seeing the screen, she mutters, that's Lee Junwan. What is he doing in this competition? Then, she quickly calms herself down. No, I shouldn't speak too loudly. If I do, I'll get scouted, and everyone will find out that Red Star's granddaughter is here. Then, I won't be able to leave easily or even enjoy the event. Still, she wonders, I wonder how Kim is doing right now. Kim in the dungeon maze. The scene shifts back to Kim, who is analyzing the situation. Can these monsters break through the walls? He reassures himself, I should just follow the normal path, search for monsters, and defeat them. Then, he considers, if I attack this wall twice, it might break. Kim arrives at a three-way junction with 3 different paths. He pauses. Which way should I go? Then he thinks, a simple method would be to stick close to the wall and slowly navigate through the maze. But suddenly, Kim's eyes begin to glow. What's happening? Why do I feel so strange? I was going to go left, but my instinct is telling me otherwise. He recalls what he learned in Cheyenne's lecture. Could this be my sixth sense? Is it trying to guide me to the right path? Finally, Kim decides, all right, whatever happens, I'll trust my sixth sense from now on. He moves forward just as the announcer declares, participants are being eliminated one by one. Cheyenne shifts, then says, finally, I managed to escape from there without anyone knowing about me. But just then, a voice from behind speaks up. How is this possible in the first round? Didn't you say that 32 members passed in the first round? Then how did it suddenly jump to the semifinals? The counter guy responds, I'm sorry, but most of the hunters have forfeited the match. Miss Shawn starts thinking, is there some kind of gambling going on here? The counter guy continues, all of you might as well give up now. The winner is going to be Lee Jin-won. But then, a man steps forward and declares, I bet $1 million on Kim Seo-jun. The people nearby are completely shocked. Are you serious? Do you even know anything about Kim Seo-jun? Do you know where he comes from or which academy he belongs to? Are you sure you want to do this? Cheyenne, standing behind, also wonders, who could this person be, betting so much money on Kim Seo-jun? Kim, on the other hand, looks extremely troubled. How did things turn out this bad? Then, we see a flashback. A young man says, I want to leave. I don't want to fight anymore. Kim thinks, wait, can people actually quit in the middle? The bespectacled guy answers, yeah, it's common knowledge. You can leave anytime. The main reason is Lee Jin-won. He doesn't care about his opponents at all. He fights as if he's about to kill them. That's why so many people are choosing to quit. He continues, no matter how strong someone is, even if they keep advancing by defeating others, they all know that, in the end, they'll have to face Lee Jin-won. No one wants to get beaten so badly that their dream of becoming a hunter is completely shattered. Then, we see a lot of contestants stepping forward, saying, I don't want to continue either. It is then revealed that almost all the contestants have left. And now, only 5 members remain, Lee Jin-won, the bespectacled guy, whose name is Lee Ming, Kim Seo-jun, and the 2 fighters. From the start an announcement is made. The first match will be between Kim Seo-jun and Young Dakul. The second match will be between Lee Jin-won and Lee Ming. Kim thinks, since my match is first, if I win, I'll go straight to the finals. Meanwhile, the bespectacled guy starts crying. Kim laughs. Are you seriously crying? The bespectacled guy replies, how can you laugh at me? Don't you realize my match is against Lee Jin-won? Kim reassures him, your match hasn't even started yet. How can you decide now that you've lost? But the bespectacled guy insists, it doesn't matter. Even if the match hasn't started, I already know I've lost. I have to fight Lee Jin-won. Kim sighs, you can still quit if you want. But the bespectacled guy says, no, I won't quit. Just then, a staff member arrives. Kim, get ready, your fight is about to begin. Kim walks off, turning back to say, don't be so nervous. No matter how strong your opponent is, don't give up. Use your full potential until the very end. The bespectacled guy mutters, how are you so calm? Kim smiles, I'm just excited to see how much experience I'll gain from this fight. A commentator announces, please take your seats and remain quiet. All the weak contestants have left on their own, and only the top 5 strong contenders remain. This battle is going to be intense. Keep your eyes on the arena. And now, let's begin. Our first contestant, Kim Seo-jun. Then, the second contestant appears. It's none other than the hammer-wielding guy, who looks at Kim and says, your fight is just getting started. Luck got him through the dungeon maze, but here, luck won't help you at all. Now, you're facing a strong opponent, none other than Jang Dok. Jang Dok smirks. Should I call you lucky or unlucky? You barely scraped through the first round with luck, but now, your second round is against me. Kim, instead of being intimidated, starts mocking him indirectly. This enrages Dok even more. Then, an announcement is made. The first match of the second round has begun. The moment those words are spoken, Dok rushes forward to attack Kim, but Kim doesn't react, he just smiles. The scene shifts to the bespectacled guy. He wonders, what is Kim doing right now? How is his fight going? Is he injured, or is he still fighting? But then, he sees Lee Jin-won and realizes, maybe I should worry about myself first. He's glaring at me with so much anger. He thinks, why is he always so furious every time I look at him? Then, he recalls Kim's words, if you don't want to quit, then fight with everything you have until your last breath. Keep fighting until you win. The bespectacled guy mutters, these guys, Lee Jin-won, Ding de chul, they all come from big academies. I'm not afraid of them, but their academies? Their backing is terrifying. Compared to them, low-tier academies like ours don't even stand a chance. Suddenly, both Lee Junwan and the bespectacled guy freeze in shock. A miracle has just happened. The entire crowd falls silent. An announcement rings out. The winner is Dream Academy's Kim Seo-jun. People murmur in disbelief. That fight wasn't even long. We have our final contestant, someone who defeated his opponent in a single move. In less than a second, the camera shifts to Kim, standing tall in front of Jang De-chul. Even Lee Junwan mutters, "What the hell are they doing? This is ridiculous. How did the fight end just like that?" Meanwhile, the bespectacled guy grips his sword and declares, "I'm up next." Lee Junwan, watching him, is seething with anger. A flashback shows what happened moments ago. Jang De-chul had launched an attack on Kim, but Kim effortlessly dodged it. Commentators analyzed. Jang Dok has incredible stamina and strength, but Kim has proven he didn't just make it this far with luck, he has real power. Jang Dok, furious, shouted, "Let's see you dodge this." But Kim merely swung his spear once, causing Jang Dok's axe to spin out of control and crash onto the ground behind him. Seeing this, Jang Dok suddenly knelt down, surrendering. The commentators explained, "Just like that, Kim Seo-jun has cleared this round with unbelievable ease." An announcement followed. No one expected Kim Seo-jun to win this easily, but he has. Meanwhile, Jang De-chul looked completely stunned, unable to comprehend his loss. But the one who seemed even more shaken was Kim himself. He muttered, "What the hell? I thought my progress rate would skyrocket after this fight, but why is my experience only increasing by tiny amounts?" Some stats went up by just 0.1. His real problem wasn't just his slow growth, it was that most of the competitors, the ones who could have helped him gain more experience, had forfeited. The worst part, Kim realized, is that I only have 52 days left on my membership before it expires, and I haven't even completed a single lecture 100%. He clenched his fists. On top of that, I don't have enough money to pay for premium lectures, or even buy anything from the store. Lost in thought, Kim entered the room, only to be greeted by the bespectacled guy. "You're seriously awesome," he gushed. "I saw your entire fight on the screen. You defeated him so easily. That was the coolest thing ever." But then, Kim says, "First, tell me, when did I ever say that I was weak?" The bespectacled guy is shocked. "You're right, I never thought about that. You've never once called yourself weak." Suddenly, the referee arrives and announces, "The second round is about to start soon. Get ready." The next match will be between Lee Ningji and Lee Junwan. Lee Junwan shoves the bespectacled guy aside. "Move out of my way, weakling." The bespectacled guy, flustered, turns to Kim. "See, I told you, to these kinds of hunters, we are nothing. They don't respect us at all." They continue talking for a while, and the bespectacled guy says, "Still, I'm really glad I have a friend like you. Whenever I talk to you, I feel a real sense of friendship. I want to become a strong person, just like you." The referee comes back. "Lee Ningji, it's time." Lee Ningji nods. "All right, I'm coming." Kim tells him, "Do your best." Lee Ningji smiles. "I'll give it my all." Seeing his confidence, Kim feels happy for him. Both fighters enter the arena. Lee Ningji, trying to psych himself up, mutters, "I can do this, I can do this." Lee Junwan glares at him. "What the hell are you mumbling to yourself?" The referee steps in. "Let me repeat the last rule one more time. No injecting mana into your weapons. You may only use mana on your own body." Lee Junwan glares at the bespectacled guy, who is standing on the sidelines, watching. I know exactly what he's thinking. He's praying for a miracle to survive. Lee Junwan scoffs internally, but he should know how the food chain works. The strong defeat the weak. That's just how it is. Lee Ningji, still visibly nervous, takes his fighting stance. Lee Junwan, irritated, thinks, "How dare these insects even pick up a weapon in front of me? This guy only made it past the first round because of sheer luck. But now, I'll show him his real place." He turns to the referee. "Hey, ref, how much longer are you going to drag this out? Start the match already." The referee replies, "I can't start until I receive the official signal from above." Just then, an announcement echoes through the arena. The second round of the second tournament has officially begun. The match starts. Lee Junwan immediately charges forward with a powerful attack. The bespectacled guy struggles to dodge, barely managing to avoid getting hit. He already looks exhausted. His glasses slip off. Blood trickles from his mouth. He falls to his knees. Lee Junwan sneers. So, is this match already over? Looks like my opponent has given up. But the bespectacled guy, breathing heavily, mutters, "It doesn't matter who wins or loses. I'm not even on his level." He thinks to himself, "I have no way of beating him. I wanted to do something that would make my sister proud of me, but what I really want is to become strong, like Kim Seo-jun." A surge of confidence floods through him. He clenches his fists. "I'll do it just like Kim did." He pushes himself back up, getting into his fighting stance again. Determined, he says, "I have to do something even if I can only touch his finger. I have to do something. I just need to land a single hit on him, no matter what it takes." Then, he attacks. He charges forward, getting closer and closer to Lee Junwan. But suddenly, the scene shifts. The bespectacled guy is lying on the ground. An announcement rings out, as expected. "The winner of this round is Lee Junwan." The crowd erupts. "Just like we thought. Lee Junwan has won. Lee Mingji was just trying to put on a show, acting like he was powerful. But in the end, Lee Junwan was the real powerhouse." But then, we see something surprising. Blood drips down Lee Junwan's face. A small cut has appeared on his cheek. Lee Junwan stares at it, stunned, shocked. Lee Junwan thinks, "Did he really get that close to me?" We see that people's perspectives have completely changed. Now, all Lee Junwan can hear is, "Wow, look at him, acting all cool after defeating a poor guy. He must think he's so powerful, beating up a low-ranked hunter." Hearing this, Lee Junwan gets furious. "How dare an insect like him attack me? How did he even manage to cut my cheek? How could someone like him have the nerve to touch an elite hunter like me?" Lee Junwan turns to the referee. "I'm not continuing this match." The referee frowns. "What do you mean by that?" But before anything else can happen, Lee Junwan suddenly lunges at the bespectacled guy, attacking him. "You losers buy your way into this tournament, ruining it for everyone. That's why our tournament is ranked 4th. The referee steps in. "The match is over. If you don't stop now, we'll have to take action against you." Lee Junwan scoffs. "How can you say that? I already quit the match, so whatever I do now isn't covered by the rules." The bespectacled guy is completely unconscious. Yet, Lee Junwan cruelly presses his foot against his face. "Insects like you belong under the feet of elite hunters like us." But just then Kim suddenly appears. Without hesitation, he attacks Lee Junwan. Kim glares at him. "I was waiting for the final match, but I've changed my mind. We're fighting now. You deserve nothing but a beating." Kim steps forward. "Move." Lee Junwan smirks. "Oh, and what exactly do you mean by that?" Kim's voice is firm. "Take your foot off his face." Lee Junwan laughs. "Oh, you're talking about him? And what if I don't? What are you going to do about it?" Kim doesn't answer. Instead, he attacks. Lee Junwan stumbles back. Kim kneels beside Lee Mingji, checking on him. "Are you conscious? Can you stand? Can you walk?" Lee Junwan sneers. "How touching. Two insects, standing together." Kim stands up. "Do you like it? Looking down on others like this?" He clenches his fists. "What's wrong with people like you? How can you treat someone this way?" Lee Junwan scoffs. "You seriously don't get it?" He glares. "You should know vermin should stay in their place." Kim's expression hardens. "So you think weaker people have no right to dream?" Lee Junwan smirks. "People like you? Dreaming?" He laughs. "People like you don't even deserve to dream in this world anymore." Kim and Lee Junwan stand face to face, the tension rising. Nearby, two referees whisper to each other. "Should we stop them?" The other referee shakes his head. "If you value your life, stay right here and just watch. Don't even think about getting close to them." Meanwhile, Seon watches from the sidelines, deeply worried about Kim. Lee Junwan's anger boils over. "I'm going to teach you a lesson you'll never forget." He glares at Kim. The world has changed now. Kim's mind races. He's not wrong. For the past 9 years, Kim had dreamed of becoming a pro hunter. He had struggled through countless hardships. At times, he had even cursed himself. "I have no talent. I have no money. Hard work? It's just something people do to maintain their status." Kim clenches his fists. "It's true, there are things in this world that even hard work can't achieve. There were times I thought about giving up on this journey." But now, Kim turns to the referee. "Referee, take Lee Mingji out of here." Then, he looks back at Lee Junwan. "Now, tell me, what do you want to do next?" Kim's expression is cold. "You don't get to call anyone trash." And with that, Kim charges at Lee Junwan. The referee shouts after him, trying to stop the fight. "Kim, you can't do this. It's against the rules." The referee tries to stop Kim, but he doesn't listen and charges forward to attack. Lee Junwon, seeing Kim's attack, doesn't show much reaction. Instead, with a devilish smile, he says, "You sure know how to joke." With ease, he blocks Kim's attack using his sword. Kim glares at him, "You're the lowest one here." Lee Junwon launches a counterattack, pushing Kim back before dashing forward at an incredible speed. Kim, shocked by his speed, barely dodges. "He's even stronger than I thought." Kim hears the cheers for Lee Junwon and starts to question himself. "When I fought Dutch Wall, I thought I could win this tournament easily. But now, can I even stand against him? No, I can't think like this. I don't have the luxury he does." Determined, Kim focuses on his senses, relying on them to dodge. Then, he strikes back. Lee Junwon, surprised, quickly regains his composure and shoves Kim away. A referee rushes in. "Hey, what are you two doing? I told you to." Lee Junwon snaps, "Shut your mouth." Inside, he thinks, "I'm so powerful that no one can stand against me." But then, his eyes lock onto Kim's. What is it about those eyes? For the first time, an unsettling feeling creeps into Lee Junwon. Why does it feel like he's the strongest one here? Like I'm the insect? Lee Junwon smirks. "Guys like you sure love to dream big." Then, he suddenly attacks. Kim, caught off guard, is shocked. Lee Junwon grins. "Let's see if you can really fulfill that dream." With that, he unleashes a powerful attack, releasing an immense amount of energy. The impact is so intense that it can be felt even outside the stadium. Spectators exclaim, "Why is there so much smoke? I can't see anything ahead." As the smoke begins to clear, the silhouettes of Kim and Lee Junwon become visible. When the smoke completely fades, Lee Junwon is lying on the ground while Kim is still standing. However, Kim is not in great condition either. His arms and legs are trembling. Lee Junwon is bleeding heavily from his mouth. As Kim is declared the tournament winner, the stadium erupts with cheers, chanting his name. The scene shifts to Sean, who looks completely shocked. Just 2 weeks ago, he could barely counter my aura sword, but now, he tore through it like paper? Who is Kim? Really? A voice from behind says, "How is this even possible? This is completely impossible." The camera shifts to reveal a masked man, the same one who had bet on Kim. Shojan recognizes him and exclaims, "That's him, the masked guy who bet on Kim." His face is shown, and he still mutters in disbelief. How can this be possible?" Sean, puzzled, thinks, "He bet on Kim's victory. Then why is he so shocked? It's as if he never even imagined this outcome." She turns back, but the masked man has vanished. The scene shifts to Kim, who is walking alone, looking incredibly sad. A flashback shows officials approaching him, saying, "You are disqualified from this match. You used an elation during the fight, which is strictly against our rules." Kim sighs. "They're not wrong. These rules were already in place." He then asks, "Fine, I understand, but tell me, how is Lee Junwon?" One of the guards responds, "Lee Junwon is also disqualified. He used his aura sword, which is considered an attempted murder case." The guard adds, "We can't do much about it, but the association has restricted him from taking the Pro Hunter exam for 5 years. We then see the rankings. First place, Lee Chielman. Second place, Kairamish. Third place, Ductal. Kim, reflecting, mutters, "Well, at least something went right. My progress rate has increased slightly." A breakdown of Kim's lecture progress is displayed. Chiron's lecture, plus 15%. Siddharth Gautama's lecture, plus 2%. Xianyu's lecture, plus 20%. Kim thinks, "When I recall that scene, I can still feel that power within me. Maybe it's because my progress rate has now surpassed 50%. Kim says, "All right, let's see which lecture I can take next." Suddenly, a hand touches Kim's shoulder from behind.